Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time of day it is or night it is. Thank you so much for watching. Today, we're going to get into first a review and showing of the Haldir, or Haldir, depending on how you want to pronounce that. I say Haldir figure, ToyBiz figure, very rare. And then I'm going to get into the lore of both the movie lore and the book lore, so you'll see the divergent ways. I will also have that in the description. I'll have that all listed in there so you can read it if you want. I have a little script I've written, and then also you can read it in the pinned comment, which will also have all my links and everything like that. If you can, please drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy this. Let me know, and thank you so much. And let me know if you like this new format. Alright, so first off, I want to show you Haldir. Haldir. Okay, so he has, once again, ToyBiz as usual, you know, detail like crazy. On the actual wood, or it's not wood, it's plastic, but on the bow, you can see the different markings and writings of the elves. Then you can see that he holds his little, and it's kind of funny because, well, I'll just show you on this one, it's already bent. They're just little soft plastic tips. I guess they wanted to be really sure. So he does, and originally he has an action button, which I can't stand. I wish they just left those off and didn't mess with that. But anyway, he actually is one of the most rare figures to get complete. To have all his accessories. And so he does have his helmet here, which does come off, and then he's a little bit more recognizable. I left a little bit of dirt on there, but that'll be alright. Alright, so you can see how he is with his bow. He actually has a string bow, or I should say almost like fishing wire, and they really knotted it up. Let me show you that. Look at that. They did a good job on that, of course. Sorry about the damaged finger, by the way. Hopefully that doesn't distract you. Let's give you the look. Now there's going to be a lot of images at the end of this. I'm going to take a little pause, and as I'm talking, the images will be flying by, so I hope you appreciate it. Just take a look at the detail. Okay, first we'll just go over the paint. And of course he has this flaring PVC cloak. And so the idea is that he's either in the wind or he's moving, and I like that. I like to have him actually without his bow, and I'll show you that right now. And of course this is his helmet, and he never wore that in the movie, but whatever. Let's go ahead and take this off. It's real easy. Now if you look real closely, and let's see if we can get that to frame. Can you see that? There's a little notch, and that's what you go between his fingers, and then it goes into the actual into the string. Now it's very hard to do. It took me 15 minutes to get that set up. So I know I really regret taking it apart. Now here's where you can store them right there. His quiver. All right. Come on. One thing is he really holds on well to anything you put in it, which is great. Once again, it's a sign of ToyBiz quality. Okay, so take a look. Here's his sheath with his sword. Once again, completely loaded up with all the elvish writing. And then what's cool is it's open, so you can actually pose them as I did in one of the pictures that you'll see upcoming afterwards. And you can have him kind of like he's drawing it. You can literally put the hand on it and snap it in and get that look. But I prefer, of course, just to pull it out. And once again, take a look at that. In person, you can see it has a shine that is quite impressive. It looks actually like real metal. I'll see if I can enhance this a little bit. There you go. Flip it around, and then of course the handle has engravings on it, just like everything else. It's absolutely amazing the job they did on this. And let's see the other side. Sometimes the LEDs kind of make it a little, it's brighter than it is. It's a little darker brown than that. All right, let's get into the articulate. Let's first off get him his sword. I want to show you the position real quickly. And one thing is, once you get the sword in, by the way, into his hand, there you go. Don't expect it to come out easily, which is awesome because I have 100. I have almost every Darth Vader ever made. I have almost every Sith and all that with the lightsabers. Every night I come in there and there's one or two that have dropped their lightsaber for some reason. So that's pretty cool. Okay, take a look at this. You have a nice, very loose PVC. Then you have his quiver, which is just beautifully done. It really looks like some kind of nice oak or leather. And it's strapped to, he does have that little button, which originally makes his arm move back and forth. Okay, here's his hair molded out. Once again, you see it's molded in the same direction. So the idea is he is in the wind blowing. The wind's blowing at him. The face, it's great. I don't know if they were going for the exact one of the movie or if they were going off of the books. This is one of the first ones they made, or from the first line they made. Extremely rare, usually around $100. Now let's get an articulation. Okay, so the hands, you do not have a 360 on either wrist. Okay, but you do have quite a bit of flexibility with the elbow, and then you can do a 360 with the arm, the left arm. Now the right arm is a little stiffer because of the hair and because of the quiver. You can get it that high, but take a look. Let's see. Once again, these are pretty. Oh, sorry for that noise. Take a look right there. You can get into a really awesome stance. Take a look at that. Okay, we're at 6 minutes. I don't want to waste too much time. Okay, so let's go quickly. He does have his head turns that much, and you have a little up and a little down, but not much. Don't expect a lot of that. But you, like I said, you do have quite a bit in the arms and all that, and you can raise the quiver up. This is what I like to do because it does. He does have a little bit of room in the ball joint, so sometimes and that's because of the mechanics, the idea of it being that it would be out like this and use a bow and all that. So you can just hide that pretty easily by one thing I do is if you do get one of these expensive guys or have one, just I know a lot of you probably do. There you go. And I mean it's really hardly noticeable. Okay, so back to that. As far as this, he does have a waist swivel, but not an ab crunch. So he does have a ball joint there, but it's not an ab crunch. Now, what's cool about this, and I don't know why so many other companies, whether it's Final Fantasy stuff or Darth Vader, you'll see on all my reviews, they can't get the PVC loose. They can't figure out how to mold it. See, notice how this is multi-layered. Now, of course, you've got the beautiful, beautiful paint jobs. It's multi-layered PVC. 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces right there. And they're all spread, but check it out. His legs, especially, let's just go, can go up. Now it can get up that high, about 40 degrees, 45 maybe. And then in the back, you get another. But you do have a double jointed knee, a legit double jointed knee. Then you have something that's really cool, a legit double jointed knee. And then you have something really cool. It actually turns at the top of the boot. So instead of it being just an ankle, which you know that those ankle swivels, they're great and all, but they actually do weaken the figure overall over time and usually becomes unstable. But by having it up there, it's awesome, and it's on both feet. And of course, you do have a rocker on there, on the feet, and you have a nice up, down. You can go further down. If you go further than that, you have that. Just take a close look. It's very good. And again, he is really easy to pose because of the fact that both of his feet do that turn. He can do that, and he actually will stand really well. Let's see, put him on here. He's on an uneven surface right now. Let's see if we can get him in that swinging motion. Of course, I say he's easy. There we go. There's one. There you go. There's one pose. Now, if you like him more with the, let's go ahead and show this because I haven't showed it enough. With his armor on, his helmet. This is definitely more from the inspired from the lore of the books than it would be. And of course, even the helmet though has the engravings, the elven engravings. So it's really awesome. Now, go ahead and get him standing up really good. Ah, there he is. So easy, so easy. Okay, so basically, I just want to go into the movie version lore and then the book version. So the movie version, basically Haldir's role is greatly expanded in the films. In the Two Towers, he was sent by Elrond and led an army of 500 elves from Lothlórien to Helm's Deep. It is also hinted at that he and Aragorn are close friends, and even possibly Peter Jackson said in one thing that they actually Aragorn may have grown up with him as one of his teachers, teaching him that bow and arrow and all that. They were close. Obviously, you see that when he dies and Aragorn completely flips out and goes mental such a great scene though for a movie, but so sad too. It is also hinted at Aragorn likely knowing Haldir from the time Aragorn was very, very young. They were stationed on the battlements and behind the deeping wall. They held off the Isengard assault until a bomb was set off and destroyed the walls. The elves, on Aragorn's command, charged straight into a wall of Uruk-hai pikes. During the breaching of the walls, the Rohirrim and elves retreated to the keep. Haldir was passing the command to his warriors when he was attacked by either side by two Uruks. He killed both, but one stabbed him in the chest with the inward spike of its sword before it was slain. While in a daze, looking out at the bodies, by the way, while he was dazed when he killed the other one too, this dude was not somebody to mess with. While in a daze, looking out at the bodies of his fallen friends and seeing all his brethren falling back, he was slashed on the back of his neck. Aragorn rushed to his side and attempted to brace him up, but Haldir had fallen. Now, that's the movie version. The story version of Haldir from the books. And again, this script I've written out will all be in the description and in the pinned comment. Haldir was an elf of, now this is from the books. Haldir was an elf of Lothlórien, a Sylvan elf, and a March-Warden, basically like a general, a commander. And he guarded the forest's northern borders. When the Fellowship arrived in Lórien, he became their guide to Caras Galadon. He and his companions are described as wearing gray hooded cloaks and residing on platforms or flats. Haldir was accompanied by his brothers Rumil and Orifin, who interacted little with the Fellowship because they, unlike Haldir, spoke little of the common tongue. Haldir could speak it fluently as he often traveled outside of Lothlórien. Little is known about his brothers. So you can see there where the connection Peter Jackson said, well, he's a traveler, Aragorn's a ranger, and, he's kind of under both the command of Galadriel and under Lord Elrond. Okay, so on the Third Age, 3019, the brothers encountered the Fellowship near the Nimrodel in the eaves of the forest. Haldir was able to speak to the Fellowship, for he knew the common tongue. Haldir welcomed Legolas as one of his kindreds from the north and recognized Aragorn as a friend to Lady Galadriel. He was prepared to lead the Fellowship into Lórien but he hesitated upon learning that one of the party was a dwarf. After consulting with his brothers, Haldir agreed that Gimli could enter if he went blindfolded. The Fellowship then insisted that if one of them had to go in blindfolded, they all would. The brothers reluctantly agreed and then led them into the forest. They spent the night on a platform in the trees. During the night, Haldir and his brothers heard orcs passing and lured them away from the Fellowship. When he returned to the flat, Haldir saw a strange creature at the base of the tree, which Frodo had guessed to be Gollum. In the morning, Haldir fashioned a rope bridge for the Fellowship to use to cross the Silver Lode, which is one of their big rivers. Haldir learned from Mary Brandybuck that the Grey Havens lay west of the Shire, and he spoke longingly of the sea, but sadly of the time when he and his kin would have to leave Lorien. When news came that the Fellowship's blindfolds could be removed, Haldir apologized to Gimli and welcomed him as the first dwarf to enter Lorien since the time of Durin. After guiding the Fellowship to Caras Gadathon, Haldir returned to his duties guarding the northern borders, but he returned when the Fellowship was about to depart to guide them to the banks of the Silverlode, where boats awaited them. Nothing further is known of Haldir's activities in the books. It is likely that he participated in the defense of Lothlórien when the forces of Dol Guldur attacked it in 3019, the same year. Haldir was one of the few elves of Lorien who could speak Westron. He had clearly heard of Aragorn, but there is no indication in the books they had even met previously. So that's it for the story of him. As far as the figure himself, amazing, as you can see, incredibly articulate. If you can find one, here's where I go into my little pricing thing for you. If you can find one, first off, you have to make sure the seller is selling it complete. And when they say complete, that means at least 2 arrows, sword, bow, and of course the sheath for the sword and the quiver. And the helmet. That's how you get the whole complete figure. And he's currently valued, or at least when I was an eBayer and everything, he was going for anywhere between $75 and $150. That's a huge range, I know, but again, that was condition. If he's missing a sword, he's probably $70, $60, maybe even 50. If he's missing his bow, it's in that same range. But usually, if you could find him under 70, and you're as big a collector as I am, and I know many of you are, I would recommend grabbing him if you have the dough, because it's a great deal, and you can always look on eBay, look at different places, and find the accessories. Probably ask in all the groups and find out these wonderful groups I get to post on Facebook. Anybody that is a subscriber on my YouTube, please check out. Just type in Lord of the Rings groups. I'm in almost all of them, and they are all wonderful. They are great. They love it. You get to just feel the love for the work of J.R.R. Tolkien and for the work that he created of the Middle-earth, and Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. It's wonderful. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was a little bit of information for you. Give you a little spin on that. Now, I'm probably going to have images flashing through the whole time while I was talking, and about just the history, and then that way you have something to look at while I'm talking. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please, if you did, please give it a like. Maybe subscribe. That would be great. And maybe share it or comment. Comments keep me going. That really keeps me motivated to keep doing this. I have hundreds more of these figures. Tomorrow I'm going to do the Cave Troll alongside with the Star Wars review. I do the Star Wars, I do that, I do Final Fantasy, a little bit of everything that I'm just really obsessed with. Alright, thank you so much for your time, and you have an absolutely wonderful day or night. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.